morning YouTube, Broke Boy Tactical here, and I hope you're all having a great day. So, my channel is called Broke Boy Tactical, and I know that I don't always show like super premium stuff on this channel, but a lot of it is not what a lot of people would consider budget minded. And let's be real here, budget, it's all relative. It's going to be based off your income, and maybe not even your income, maybe just how you view money. There are some people out there with plenty of money that just don't want to spend a lot of it. So budget really is just one of those terms that we can juggle around and kind of play with. But for a lot of people, budget, like a pocket knife, has to be under 50 bucks. A budget gun has to be under $400. At least that's where I come from. A budget gun has to be under $400. So what if I told you that I could get you into a firearm, a flashlight, a pen, a pocket knife, a multi-tool, a wallet, and a watch for $400? Right on the money. I can. I have a full EDC right here that would cost you $400, and if you're on a shoestring budget, I can back it up. Every single thing on this table is of good quality. Alright, so let's get started real quick. This might be a little long-winded. It might be a little bit longer than my average videos, maybe 12 or 13 minutes, so just bear with me. Alright? First up, you may be asking yourself, why do I even need a watch? Well, look, to be real, you don't. But it's just one of those things that once you start wearing it, you start realizing how convenient it is. You start realizing, and appreciating, staying out of your phone. That you don't have to unlock your phone every single time that you need something, even if it's just something as simple as checking the time. Just being able to look at your wrist, tell the time with an accurate watch is quite convenient. And there are plenty that actually look real good. And I know this is going to be laughable to a lot of people. They're going to be like, oh my God, that's a 10-year-old's watch. That's a kid's first watch. You're not all that wrong. But it's also a really good watch, and it's good looking. The Casio F91W. It's got this really nice OD green. I mean, it really does. I'll put it on for you real quick. It doesn't look as silly as you think it does. I wear this watch. I love this watch. This is my beater watch. So it costs you like 10 or 15 bucks. And this thing is legendary, dude. And I know somebody is definitely gonna say about the, look at the bomb timer. No, let's focus on the actual item. But this is a really durable little watch. You don't necessarily have to have a Casio G-Shock to have the most durable tool. I have a G-Shock. I have a metal G-Shock. This is my GM 2100. I love this watch. This watch has proven to be just as durable in every way, at least in my life, day-to-day life. I shower with it. It's fine. It only has water resistance, so I'm assuming maybe 30 meters. That's probably about it. That tends to be pretty standard. When you see a watch without any measurable water resistance, it just says water resistant, it's usually about 30 meters. But, you're going to be able to go outside in the rain with it. You're going to be able to shower with it. You're going to be able to swim with it. Absolutely. I've done all the above with this, and it's still ticking. This is, these little Casios and these little G-Shocks are more accurate than Rolexes because they're quartz watches. Quartz watches are just inherently more accurate. This thing loses about 2 seconds a month. Yeah, that's pretty insane. This is a watch that you just pick up, put on your wrist, and go. Or hell, just leave it on. It's super lightweight. And I'm telling you, it's really durable. Yeah, it's just resin cased. It's got a pretty shitty backlight, but it does work, it functions, and it will get you into the hobby, because a watch might be something that you don't want to wear. This might be a part of an EDC that you do want to let go. But since we are talking EDC, I had to include the whole shebang here. As you just heard, you've got alarms, and you've actually got 4 of them, not too bad. So the watch has functions. It has a stopwatch. It's a pretty good overall watch, and it has a really good battery life. It's just, yeah. For 10 bucks, you can't go wrong. The Casio F91W, if you want something a little more stylish, the A16W, or the A61W, or something like that. I can't remember what it is, but it's the all-metal version of this, and it has a much better blacklight. And it only costs you like 20 bucks. Excellent watch. Absolutely. So, for your multi-tool, any configuration of plastic Victorinox. You don't have to go A-LOX. I do find the A-LOX versions to be of higher quality. They have thicker blade stocks, thicker tools, they tend to be better made, but this is about 50, 55, 60 bucks depending where you buy it. And this little tinker right here, while having more tools, will only cost you about $30. And you've got your standard pocket knife, just your little pen knife. It is a nail nick, and I do, bite my nails, so I know it's disgusting. We all have bad habits, but It is a nail nick. You just have a basic little pen knife right here. You've got a secondary little pen knife. You got your standard screwdriver, bottle opener, can opener affair going on here. Small Phillips flat, large flat, wire stripper, bottle opener, can opener. That's pretty standard on all Victorinoxes, but you do have on this little tinker a dedicated Phillips head, and you do have a reamer and all. So that's pretty cool. It's just a great little tool. Pick a configuration. Just pick one. They're excellent little tools, and they're very inexpensive. Oh, and you also have toothpick and tweezers on the plastic models. You will not get those on the A-Locks. But either way you go, they're very affordable, very inexpensive, very recommendable, very easy to touch up and resharpen, very easy to take care of. And these things, even the plastic ones, if you take care of them, this could last you your entire life. It really could. These are really great tools. Victorinox, the original Swiss Army knife. Very good stuff. Next up, bear with me here, guys. A couple of brands on the table get laughed at a lot, but they're not nearly as bad as people think that they are. They are the butt of a lot of jokes. We've got Olight here. This is the Olight i5R EOS. Now, I know the i3T is smaller, and it's much less cumbersome and much more convenient for a lot of people to carry, especially for EDC, but it's not rechargeable. This is USB-C rechargeable, and it also takes standard AA's. You have a maximum lumen output of 350 lumens. You've got an aluminum casing. You've got a nice reversible pocket clip here that functions as a hat clip, so you can do some hands-free work. This hat is all loose and fucked up and needs to be replaced, so my hat won't hold it. But it does work. It's very useful, actually. The low setting is low enough where, you know, if you have kids, you just want to creep through a room and not wake anybody up. It's about 5 lumens, like moonlight setting. This is really good. And if you do want to step it up, you have other options. Like you have this carbon fiber model. This is about twice the price. This is 65 bucks, while this is 35 bucks. But this is lighter weight. It's twice as strong. It's got a much better button in the back. It inspires more confidence. I don't think this is going to come on in my pocket. This might. So just keep that in mind. But they are very good lights. And both of these do not run hot. They do not run hot for me. So if anybody tells you that, in my experience, the Olight little pocket light series do not run hot. The weapon lights, I can make a whole video about why those aren't the most recommendable things on the planet. But in this case, I think the Olights beat Streamlight. Just in EDC little pocket, little off-body flashlights, I do think that these are better than the Streamlight Micro Stream or Macro Stream in my experience. I do. Two out of 3 of my Micro Streams have completely fucking died, and when they shouldn't have. So just take that for what it is. Olight i5R EOS. $35 for the standard aluminum model. Comes in a bunch of different colors and configurations. Or you can get the carbon fiber model, my favorite, for 65 bucks. But for this setup, 35 bucks. Next up would be a pen. Now, kind of like a watch, why would you carry a pen? You know, most things are electronically signed. We handle most business through email, and everything is pretty much on our phone. So why have a pen? Well, this one is kind of more for ceremony. It makes me feel more adult. It might make you feel more adult, because let's be real here. Generally speaking, when you need a pen, there's going to be one within arm's reach of you that doesn't cost $30 of your own money. That can be stolen just as easily as this guy right here. Again, cheap little plastic pen, no big deal. $30 brass pen, it might kind of suck. It might kind of sting a little bit. But it's USA made. This thing's got a lot of history. This is the Fisher Space Pen Bullet X Mark. The X Mark means that it just has the flat tip right here instead of the rounded over tip. I think it fits nicer in the shirt pocket, especially if you have a flap. It looks more natural. It doesn't cost any extra money. I just prefer this model. It's got a good size for writing. The cartridges are readily available, inexpensive. They're about $8 a piece, but these things last about a year. These cartridges, and I use my pens quite a bit, but I do go out of my way to use them. Again, there are other pens around that I could use. I just like having my own pen, and it's such a neat, such a nice, neat little well-built piece of kit that I think for 30 bucks is definitely worth adding to your rotation. Fits nicely in a shirt pocket. When I don't have a shirt pocket, I just let it sit right here, and it doesn't bother me. It's got good heft, but as you can see, it doesn't drag the shirt down too much. This is a really old shirt too. You know, so especially if you have a newer, crisper shirt, it's not going to drag like this. This is just a really great little option. Fits in your pocket, fits really anywhere you want it to go. Fisher Space Pen Bullet X Mark. Great stuff for the money. Next up would be your pocket knife. Anything that's inexpensive from Civivi. Now this would probably be in their Sencut line now because it has 9CR 18 MOV steel. Doesn't have the most well textured or designed G10 scales, but this is the Mini Mastodon. I love this knife. If you are a big fan of the Spyderco Delica, and I know what you may be saying, those two look nothing alike, but they perform very similarly, except in the weight department. I have found that if you are looking for a truly slicey EDC, that the Delica and the Mini Mastodon are almost unparalleled in my experience when it comes to usage. I love using this knife. It isn't your typical cleaver. It does have a little bit of a tip. It has more of a reverse Tonto sheep's foot modified affair going on here, wouldn't you agree? But it is still like a cleaver. It's a very interesting blade, and trust me, you got a nice choil. You can get a lot of utility out of this knife, and what's great about this particular knife is that you can pick it up on sale, has been on sale for over a year for $29.99. And I gotta tell you, I know there are plenty of knives, oh, I'd rather have D2, I'd rather have this. Well, if you're not proficient with knife sharpening, you're gonna have a much better day with 9CR 18 MOV. This is one of the most forgiving, easy breezy steels to touch up and sharpen I've ever worked with, and I think for the amount of effort that you're putting into it, which is minimal, you're getting a lot of return and edge retention. You really are. 9CR is really underrated. So if I think for $30, even though it's running on phosphor bronze washers, which for a work knife, I will say I think is salubrious. Most people will still want caged ceramic bearings. I think that this knife is a contender for one of the best knives under $40 right now. Go pick one up. It's only 30 bucks. Tell me I'm wrong. This is a really good user. It is a really good user. It takes a really clean edge. It doesn't get all mucked up. 9CR doesn't really, I mean, you can see it has a little bit of a patina in some spots, but it's a pretty stainless steel. It's just a really good user. It really is. 30 bucks, Civivi Mini Mastodon. But really, if you're on a tight budget, just pick an inexpensive Civivi with good ergonomics, and it's going to come with a very sharp edge. It's going to come with an even bevel, so sharpening will be easier. It's going to be well heat treated. It's going to be made out of good materials, and they're just recommendable. Yeah, it's a Chinese company, but they're a good one. They're a really good one. So there you go. Wallet. This is just a cheap little travel Lambo that I picked up off of Amazon. Travel Lambo. Now I got my ID in there, and I'm not going to show you guys all my information, but it's just a little wallet. It's just a little slip, just a little sleeve, and it holds some cash. You know, it has another pocket if you want to hold some like smaller bills. You got four card slots right here. You got an ID slot. This is really all you need. Slim, minimalistic, and this is the synthetic material. Look at the stitching. Before I tell you how long I've had this wallet, I have washed this. I have lost this. It has been left out in the mud, in the muck. It has been abused, run over, and the stitching is not even close to coming out. I've had this thing for almost 5 years. It cost me $10 on Amazon. They're $12 now. Worth every penny. Worth every penny. Sleek, good looking, flexible, can flex into multiple roles. It's like, it's not out of place in a classy situation, nor is it, you know, it's not anything classy. It's just simple and black. You know what I mean? It goes with everything. It can go with work attire, or it can go with something classy. And for your wallet, that's probably your most carried EDC item. So for it to be flexible, definitely something I recommend. Travel Ambo, like Lamborghini Travel Lambo. Get it? Yeah, not bad. I've had that wallet for 5 years, and I still have no desire to replace it. Best 10 bucks I've ever spent on a wallet. Pretty good stuff. Lastly, we have your firearm. This is the Taurus G3C, chambered in 9mm. And yes, we are clear. And this is fairly a new gun to me, guys, okay? This is a safe direction. All right, so this is a new gun to me, but it is impressing me so much that I can't help but recommend it. And the fact that you can find this gun between $250 and $325 is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. You have metal sights, blacked out rear, white dot front. It does have a cocking shelf, so you can rack it on your clothes, on your boot. If you do have that injured arm scenario, it's got that capability for you. It does have an external safety, but it's very, very positive. Definitely like that. It's got a great trigger. Definitely an accurate little fucker. It comes with 3 magazines out of the box. It's got an aggressive grip texture that is very aggressive, but again, it's very comfortable, so no need to buy Talon grips or replace them in any way. It's got excellent ergonomics, good point of aim. It's just a very, very good firearm for the money. It's well built. It doesn't have any cheap rattle. It's solid. It's a solid little gun. For 250 to 325 bucks, I just think you're going to have a hard time beating this. And this is coming from a Ruger fanboy. I'm really liking this gun, and I can honestly say that I do think it is very recommendable. And your holster of choice, that's going to be up to you. I can recommend some brands because I don't have all the brands to display. But if you're on a tight budget, Vetter, We the People, Tolster, you can get into these holsters for under $100, and you can always replace their foamy clips with them, or aftermarket, whatever have you. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do to them. Generally speaking, I've found that they're pretty modular now, so they're inexpensive. They're under $100. But if you can't afford it, the holster is really the one thing that I would invest that you spend a little bit of money on. Your rig is arguably maybe the most important aspect of your firearm. Your firearm just needs to be reliable, but it needs a good home to rest in. And if it doesn't have a good home to rest in, meaning your holster, it can be not so good of a firearm. Your holster is everything. A good holster is everything. So if you can, maybe get into something safe, and bear with me here, guys, maybe buy a sticky, use that for a couple of weeks and save up some money and invest a little more money into a custom holster, maybe a tier 1 concealment, something like that. Even if it is an inexpensive gun, I don't want to put an expensive optic on my firearm. I understand that. I don't want to put expensive features on my budget firearm. I understand that. But having a good holster, even with a budget firearm, I think is paramount. So that's where I'm going to end it here, guys. This whole setup right here you can have for $400. Can't beat that. What do you guys think? Do you have any recommendations? Leave it down below. See you next time.